It's the Abba podcast. Let's go.
And the next guest on the podcast, we have a successful, triumphant victor over Anthony the Man Mundine, none other than Michael, Pretty Boy Zerafa. Michael, how are we, mate?
Good, brother. Good, man. How's things?
Mate, it's good, man. Lots changed since the last time we spoke. You got the victory, round one, devastating fashion.
I called it. Yeah, look, man, it was a long time coming. Obviously he's passed his best, but he passed all his medicals. He called me out. He wanted me to step up to the challenge. He saw something apparently no one else could see. So I couldn't deny him that. He wanted to go out on a high, and he said, he wanted to do it against me. So I couldn't deny him that. And obviously I'm getting a lot of heat for the fight, but it is what it is, man. I got to look after myself moving forward, and and plan for what's next.
Mate, you guys put a show for the Bendigo crowd. Tell us the lead up. How was the build up to the fight? Because a lot of people were speaking about it. It was on the tongues of everyone. How was that? Was there anything surprising leading up to the fight with Anthony?
I think the most surprising thing was the kiss at the weigh-in. I think Mundine gave me a little kiss at the weigh-in. That kind of threw me off a little bit. But look, I've been at the top level before, and nothing really changed. It was an awesome experience to be in the ring with an idol like Anthony Mundine. Has done so much for the sport, and probably one of the best ever Aussie athletes to ever lace up. So to have him on my resume is an honour. And the haters are always going to hate, and I kind of feel sorry for them, because if they knew better, they'd be doing better. So I just don't read it anymore. I switch off, and I just worry about myself. No one wants to see you do better than them. So
100%, man. 100%. You never see successful people hating on other successful people. So it's always people that aren't doing what you're doing that they want to tell you how to do things.
Exactly right. And now there's a new article coming out that Zerafa v Dustin Martin. I don't even know what that is. So the media definitely turn and say what they want to say. I've got no idea, no recognition of that.
Yeah, look, the Dustin Martin thing. The bloke's an AFL star. You're a professional boxer, the best in the country, and you've called out Tszyu. It seems like everything's aligning for this fight not to happen.
Well, that's what I mean, and the fact that people still say that I don't want this fight, it's so surprising. Like, I've gone to his fight, I've crashed his fight. I've been on mainstream media, made it quite clear that we want the Tszyu fight. After my fight with Anthony Mundine, I still called him out. And everyone said, "Oh, you're running from Tszyu." I don't understand. It's like he's God. I don't get it.
Look, well, Tszyu's got Hogan, and that fight's in the not too distant future. It's the end of March. After that, what's happening? Has their team contacted your team? Has there been any talk between the two teams?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I've got the W. Now we just need him to get the W, and then the negotiations start. We've been back and forth in negotiations for quite some time now, and there's been so much lead up to this fight. So once it's finally, done deal, it's going to be huge. It's a fight for Australian boxing fans too. You know what I mean? Put Aussie boxing back on the map and move it forward.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what we need to see. We need to see the best fight the best. We need to see how Tim can respond to the power that you got. Because, boy, you put Chalk out in one. You called it in under 4. Did it surprise you how quick he went down?
Look, I tell everybody I don't look as hard as I can punch. And Mundine said the exact same thing. It was the first thing he said to me after the fight in the back rooms. He said, "Mate," he goes, "I did not think you had that much power." He said, "You hide it very well." And then I said, out of my 28 victories, I've knocked out 17 of them. So, Tszyu, he's going to get it. You know what I mean? And Wade Ryan tested him, who I comfortably beat. And he's not much of a puncher, Wade Ryan, and it was hurting him and put him down in the first round. So, I feel like I'm a lot more experienced. I'm a way better, performer than Wade Ryan. Take nothing away from him, but there's levels, and, Tszyu struggled with that level. So, I know, I feel like I can upset him like I did with Jeff Horn.
Look, we're talking about levels to the game. You've just come off a triumphant victory after a long camp, and you told me before the show that you're back in training. You just finished the session. Tell us your mindset after the fight and what you're working on now.
I'm just enjoying it now, I'm just training to eat, really, at the moment, just enjoying life a little bit and just trying to keep the body weight down and still enjoying some good foods. But I was straight back in the gym the next day, did a long, nice run and hitting the bags and stuff like that. I'm not in any intense training in terms of sparring and stuff like that, but I'm still training twice a day. I'll do another session later tonight, just hit the bags and get the cardio up and then enjoy some chockies and some food.
Hey, look, and much deserved, the food to get in after a long camp, Australia's camp. It was a long time. Tell us about the ring rust. You didn't get a lot of time in there, but between the last fight and this fight, there was some time. How was that getting in there, making the walk and all that?
It just made me, it just reiterated how much I wanted it. And, it didn't really feel different because it's where I belong in my head, and I went out there and the walk was just electric, and I got back in there and I was like, yeah, we're home, so I'm spewing it went so quick, but I mean, better, 1 round than 12 rounds. So I'm grateful, and I worked extremely hard. I took no shortcuts, even though I had a guy that was, probably a little bit past his best. I still took it like I was fighting for a world title. And, people keep forgetting that Anthony Mundine dominated this sport. He's a 3-time world champion, and they're like, oh, but he's 44 years old. It's like, mate, people are paying main event to watch a rugby player who's 46, Paul Gallen, fight a retired Lucas Brown, so who's the same age. And, people just keep forgetting, But it is what it is. Like I said, moving forward, I just fight whoever's in front of me, whether it's Mundine, my brother, you, a world champion. I just got to move forward, get the job done. Let's just get the W.
100%. And look, we're going to make it clear to the fans and the people that are going to be watching this. You're not calling out Dustin Martin. You're not calling out any of these super fights. You want to fight the best. And all these misreporting in the media are doing you injustice.
Yeah, 100%. I want to be involved in the biggest fights, win, lose, or draw. That's why I fight. There's no point in being a fighter and fighting taxi drivers. You know what I mean? I understand that there's a build. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a lighter fight. I know how the system works. But you look at my last 4 fights. I've fought 3 world champions. You know what I mean? So in their country, as well. I went to England, and you know what I mean. So for me, I understand how the sport works, and probably wasn't my hardest fight in terms of Anthony Mundine. But I want the best fights. I want Tszyu. And if Hogan beats him, that makes him, better than Tszyu. Give me Hogan. If not, I want to be back overseas, mixing it with the best, like I've been doing. You know what I mean? And moving forward, I'm sitting at number 10 in the world now, I think. So I'm doing well.
So moving forward, I'm assuming you want a quick turnaround. It didn't take much. You were only in there for a round. When realistically or ideally do you want to turn this around and fight next?
Look, if I can go around it again in 10 to 12 weeks, I'm wrapped. I've just got to wait for Tszyu's outcome, whatever that is. I'm sure he'll get the win. It's going to be a hard fight. I have huge faith that Dennis Hogan could upset him. But look, Tszyu, take nothing away from him. He's a good boxer, you know what I mean? And he's growing each fight. But, I just believe in my ability and know where I'm at in my career and know what I can bring to the table. And, if he beats me, mate, God bless him and all the best with his career. But it's a fight that needs to happen. You know what I mean? It's a fight that the fans deserve, both our teams deserve, and it's good for the sport.
Yeah, no, it is. And he did have you in his 4-fight plan. It's a fight that was meant to happen before, but they priced themselves out the last time. What gives you the confidence that things change now and they're going to come to the table and give you a decent offer?
Oh, because I've moved up in the rankings and stuff now, and they did lowball me an offer, it's not even about the money. If it was about the money, I wouldn't be in boxing because it takes so long in the sport. I'm earning good money now, but it takes so long to get to that point. And if it was about money, I would have never stuck around. So for me, it wasn't about the money. It was more the disrespectful offer. And I agreed to the fight at the offer they gave us. It was my team who have my best interest that said, look, we're not fighting for that low of money, when he's offering retired fighters triple the amount, you know what I mean? So for me, it just shows that, he really doesn't want the fight. He just wanted to turn the tables to make it look like I didn't want that fight, which is fine. I'm happy to wear that. But, I'm the villain at the moment and I'm just rolling with that, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when it comes to who wants the fight, it's always been me. I've always wanted that fight.
Yeah, and look, that is true. Look, I think Michael's pretty a humble bloke. So the offer that Tim's team sent was under 80-20. And if you value yourself,
100%.
You're not going to take the fight. And Michael's not going to come out and say that. But I feel that the people and the fans need to know that it wasn't even an offer that anybody will take into consideration.
Not ever, not even the slightest. And everyone says, "Oh, you're greedy." So this is my living. This is how I make a living. You know what I mean? And no one works for free. You know what I mean? Whether you're a forklift driver, you're a doctor, no one's going to do things for free. You know what I mean? Go work a 10-hour shift for nothing. No one's going to do it. So for me, I agreed to take the fight, but my team said, "Mate, we're not doing that." He doesn't want the fight. We don't need him. We're in different paths. I'm in the WBA. He's going down the IBF, I'm pretty sure. So, we don't need each other, but it's a fight that it needs to happen, and it will make noise. You know what I mean? It's the most talked about. I reckon it's as big as Zerafa. I mean, Mundine Green. Zerafa Tszyu is just as big, if not bigger. You know, we've got that rivalry now. I'm the villain, he's the saint. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, we'll see. But do you feel that you're coming to the table, you're more having to prove yourself to No Limit Boxing? Because let's be real, Tim doesn't really make too much decisions. He's got everyone around him sugarcoating him and opening him the path. Do you feel that your problem is more with No Limit rather than Tim?
Well, whoever does his decision making, you know, he told me, you know, when I faced him at his last fight, you know, he said, I'll talk to my team. And I said, mate, they said you don't want it. So whoever's making their decisions knows that I'm a big risk. And they've said that off camera. They said, you know, we're close to a world title fight. And I respect that because, again, I know how the sport works. But, you know, that offer's gone. You know what I mean? Teixeira lost. Castano's looking for bigger and better. You know, we can't travel because of the virus. We can't get fighters over here. And he's saying that they're running out of opponents. But I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm made it quite clear. I want to fight.
Yeah, look, and if they're looking for a stadium show, I know that they're going to Newcastle. Newcastle's nowhere near a stadium show where you guys can both sell out and put on a show for Australian boxing, which we're really, really desperate to see.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. You know, we need to find a venue. And I said, let's do a neutral stadium. You know, don't come to Melbourne. Obviously, he's not going to come here. I'm not going to go to Sydney. So let's do it somewhere. Let's go to Brisbane. You know, let's do it at a big stadium there. You know what I mean? And really give the fight fans what they deserve. You know, what they pay to see. And that's two champions go head to head in a winner take all. May the best man win.
Yeah, and look, and the Minister of Brisbane is really good and he's big on boxing. You know, you bring Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao. I know Brisbane is a home of Australian sport as well, you know, second and third to probably Sydney and Melbourne. Talk to us a bit about Melbourne. Melbourne, the week of the fight, they opened you with welcome arms. The Melbourne victory, the people of Bendigo. How appreciative are you to the support you get from the people? Hugely grateful, and you know, the support I got leading into the fight was amazing. You know, people that understand the sport, you know what I mean? People just get on the bandwagon and be negative, you know, I just switch off. But guys that understand the sport and know that, you know, it's a process. It's like a job interview. You know, you don't just get the job. There's steps. You know, you got to tick off, and that's the same with boxing. You know, I can't just pick up the phone and say, you know, I'm coming over to Mexico to fight the world champion and be ready on this date, you know, because this date suits me. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You got to be ranked. You got to, you know, be patiently waiting for the call, and you may never even get that call. And so you got to stay active. And Mundine was, you know, 14 months out of a ring and defending the title. Mundine was the one that called me out and, you know, to dust out the cobwebs. And that's what needed to be done. And, you know, guys like Melbourne Victory got behind me, you know, all the social medias and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful for them, and moving forward is bigger and better. Yeah, and bigger and better it is. Tell us something about Choc. You know, after the fight, you guys shared a moment before the fight. What did you learn from Choc that you might have not known, because he was your childhood hero, you know, and Choc is a good bloke. What did you learn from him that no one else would know? Anthony Mundine, mate, huge respect for him, his family, and what the media, like what they're doing to me, they make it seem he's not. You know, he's got a huge heart. He gives back, and like I said, he's one of the best athletes to ever lace up, and he dominated two sports, and he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. You know what I mean? And it's a shame because he's done so much for the sport, and even like Channel 7, I've seen have turned on him, and he said, you know, I gave you 30 years of my career and life, and you just turned your back on me within seconds. So it's disappointing, and he definitely deserves more than what he should be getting. But again, that's media. That's an athlete's life. You know what I mean? So you just got to cop it on the chin. If you can't wear it, then you shouldn't be in the sport. But in terms of as a person, as a father, and as an athlete, I can't fault him. Yeah, no, look, you can't. And look, going into the new era of social media, look, the benefit of this is you can start to be selective who you choose to spend your time with in the media. So they can burn a lot of bridges. And yourself, you've got a big platform. Melbourne Victory, big platform. The people of Bendigo give you a great platform. So it's a bit different. Like, I think the times have evolved, and Choc probably didn't have the social media capacity that you might have. And I feel that's something that you do use to your benefit. Yeah, 100%. You know, obviously times have changed, and, you know, there's 15 or 17 years difference, and they probably didn't have what we have today. But it's just a shame that, you know, he didn't get what he deserved. And, you know, he really felt it in that last fight because he was motivated, he was switched on.
He trained his ass off for that fight, and he told me afterwards. He goes, I really did think I was going to come, but he said you were just too strong, too sharp, and he said he sees a lot of himself in me, and he said I've got a huge future, and now I've got that villain role. Unfortunately, I've just got to be the arrogant, athlete. But people that really know me and that are close to me know that I can give back, give my time, and I try to make someone smile at least once a day. So, but I'll just keep rolling with it.
And look, the people at the boxing world and the fight game, they've got a short-term memory. It will turn, it's a result-driven industry. They're only seeing, they all see results. Once the Tszyu, Michael Zerafa fight happens in the aftermath, the people that are saying something, they'll flip and the narrative becomes something else almost instantly.
100%. That's what happened with the Jeff Horn fight. Everyone gave me no chance in the first fight. And when I knocked him out, I had people messaging me, ringing me, apologising. And the same thing is going to happen. I visualised it and I see me knocking Tszyu out. And when I get that microphone, a lot of people are going to hear it. A lot of people are going to cop it. So I'm just patiently waiting and just enjoying life a little bit and just staying quiet for now. But again, even when I try to stay quiet, I come out wanting to fight Dustin Martin, so I can't win.
Yeah, now look, man, we cleared that up. Dustin Martin is not something that is on Michael Zerafa's radar. We're waiting to see the result of Tszyu and Hogan. And then realistically, if you were to pick end of the year, before the end of the year, or are you willing to, like you said, go 10 to 12 weeks into camp straight away?
Look, a fight like that would definitely need, I'd want a 3-month camp just to, get everything planned out perfectly. Would be something towards the end of the year. We're both fought in March, November maybe, somewhere along that line, just to build the fight and get the right media, right everyone around it. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking more November. But yeah, it's definitely a fight that's will sell out. It will sell itself. Main event, Foxtel, the works.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel that you guys have to do a tour. Like, you got to go to Bendigo, you got to come to Sydney. You got a lot of press conferences. Yeah. It's got to sell. It's not something you can rush and quick turnaround. How Tim's gone and turned around against Hogan.
That's exactly right. That's why I said we've got to build, get the right people. There'll be a lot of press conferences, a lot of media, a lot of everything around it. So for me, it's just, like I said, just patiently waiting now, just see the result. He might get an opportunity somewhere else, and if he does get a bigger opportunity, I know how the sport works. So respectfully, I wish him well to go and bring a world title home. But, it doesn't look likely. And, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and look, for the people that don't know what Michael meant by that is, you had a world title fight that Jeff Horn stopped you, and you won't do what Jeff did to you, is basically what you're saying.
100%, I know how it works, what I mean? And I said to Jeff Horn afterwards, I said, mate, I beat you fair and square. I've got the Murata fight. Let me go overseas and fight for it. Try to bring a world title home for Australia. Make the money that we all deserve. I was going to get, big money, over $1 million paydays. And I said, and if I do win, mate, I'll put a contract that I'll fight you for that world title in a rematch. And he said, nah, and then he made me do this, made me do that. And it is what it is. He got the W, credit to him. I can't dwell on it. Everyone that watched the fight knows it should have been stopped, but should have, would have, could have. It didn't. And on to the next. That's why it's a slow build. There was a setback for me. That's what people need to understand. There was a little bit of a setback for me, whether it was a robbery or not. It was a loss. So it set me back that little bit. I'm back on the build, back on the W, got the win, and now bigger and better.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm just trying to give the people a perspective of the truth of the person that you are. Even though you called me out not too long ago, and I'm about 10 weight classes ahead of you. Michael Zerafa is a good man in Australian boxing. And, geez, the media, they just, they want to latch on to anything and everything.
Everything, man. Like, I can't even sneeze in public without a camera in my face. And, look, it is what it is. Like I said, people that are close to me and want to be next to me know who I am and what I'm all about. And, I'll always give my time, always give my, my knowledge and try to pass it on and do good for the world. But, unfortunately, you can't please everybody, and it's just how life is. And any publicity is good publicity, they say. So I'm just, staying quiet, just doing what I got to do, man. Get the job done.
100%, man. And I think Floyd Mayweather wrote the book for that, man. Love him or hate him, everyone talks about him. And
exactly, you're gonna watch it. Love it or hate me, you're gonna watch me. You're just a fan in denial, is what I always say. Because I'll click in the guys that are messaging me saying bad things. I'll click on their Instagram and it says follow back. So for me, they must be doing something right.
So look, mate, you got the job done. You triumphed over Anthony the Man Mundine. What was the most thing you looked forward to after the fight?
To be honest, actually, I had a chicken parma. I was craving it the whole time. I said, you know what, I need to go down and have a bit of a chicken parma. So I smashed that out, and now I think I'm onto something different now. The KFC, the Colonel's calling me, mate.
The Colonel's calling you. You've earned it. You're earning your food. Michael, last message to the fans before we see you off.
Mate, I just want to thank everybody, show their love and support. If there's anything I can ever do to help somebody or pick somebody else up, I'm only an Instagram message away or a Facebook message away. And, all my sponsors and supporters wouldn't be here without you. So much love. And, Zerafa will be back.
True good guy of Australian boxing. Villain, a hero, whatever you want. As long as you're watching him. Michael Pretty Boy Zerafa, we're out.
Champion, brother.